What is going on? What's up? Don't say the ceiling or the sky. It was more of a figurative question. I'm looking straight at you, Tamara. I see that Tamara's on, Rachel's on, Angelique's on, Aaron's on. What is going on, friends? How are you? Jai's on. Oh wow. That got blurry really quick, like super quick. But I see that Benny's on, Daniel's on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna camera. Yo, Daniel, we say this all the time. Don't worry about the camera. Don't worry about it. Ayumi's on. Hammer. I don't even know what that means. But surprised because we're in the last week of our series called, watch this, this is gonna be clever, called Movement. Ooh. It's called Movement. We're in our last week. It was only a 2-week series, and then we jump into a really short series next week. It's 1 week. It's our trending series. So you know what it is. You know what it is. And today our bottom line is actually covering do something you're scared of. It's pretty frightening. You see what I did there? Do something you're scared of. And it's about serving. It's about helping out people that are around us. And it's going to be a great conversation because this is something that we all should be doing. And like sometimes it's fun. Okay, sometimes it's fun to do something that we're scared of doing. What's up, Malachi? What's up, Isalade? And like what I mean by this is I'm going to share a story and then we're going to jump on into the teaching. So I don't like swimming. Okay, like I don't. It's not fun. I don't know how to swim well. I know how to swim, just not well. And like most times I am opting for the life jacket option. Like there's no doubt about it. Life jacket 100%. Okay. And there's this one time that I was going with my family to Mexico and we had the opportunity to scuba dive and like snorkel and all that stuff. And life jacket 100%, man. If I'm like swimming somewhere that's not a pool, life jacket all the time. Okay, and there's no shame in my game. But back to the story. So we went and my family, we went with like some family friends and stuff like that, and they wanted to go snorkeling. Okay. And I don't swim, but they were like, yo, O'Shea, you can't pass up on this opportunity because who knows when we're ever going to be back in Mexico and you'll be able to see like the wildlife and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I don't know. This is the ocean. There are sharks. There's things that can literally kill me in the water. I'm going to someone else's home that I don't belong in. And I was terrified to do it. But I was like, you know what? I might give it a try, okay? So I was like, yo, sign me up and like, I'll go on the boat. I'll put on all the gear and stuff like that. And if I don't feel like doing it, I just wasted money because I'm not jumping in that water. Like if I see a little shark fin that's out, it's like, I'm not going in. Like that's not it. That is not it. So I get on this boat with like a bunch of my friends and family and all that stuff. And the boat ride to go to like the reef was probably the worst boat ride I've been on. And like some of my friends actually got seasick from it. And then they dropped out of actually like scuba diving and stuff like that. And then there was like 7 of us left. We weren't at the shore though. That's the problem, Daniel. We weren't at the shore. Yeah, no, like the boat took us out. But point of the story I actually did go snorkeling, and it was great. It was fantastic, and I look back at it now, and I was like, man, I'm thankful that I did that because it was an amazing experience. And I ended up talking to like some of my friends that bailed out because they weren't feeling well or because they got scared, and they're like, man, I really wish that I had done that. And I was like, yeah, you should have. Yeah, you were scared, but do something, do something you're scared of. I'm just kidding. But that's not really where our conversation is going, but the idea is there about doing something that you're scared of. Because a lot of the times when we think about serving others or when we think about helping others, sometimes, if not most of the time, we're usually scared not of the actual action that we're doing, but we're scared of how that person might perceive the action that we're going to do, or we're scared of what others around us might think of us if we do that action. And most of the time, this is the crazy part, most of the time, the action that we're doing is actually a good action. It's to help somebody out, but we're always so concerned about what people will think about that good action. So we're going to jump right on into our video, and then we'll come back, we'll answer some small group questions, and then we will call it a lovely day. And I have a couple announcements, so stay tuned to the end because you're going to want to hear those announcements. All right, on to the video.
Facts. There are a lot of things we'd like to change in this world. Like, what if there were no homework over the weekends? Or more summer vacation? Or what if cupcakes became an acceptable breakfast food? What if you could change what bothers you about school? Or maybe you could change something about your home. How great would it be to change something in your community? Or even in the whole world? Look around. If there's one thing we all have in common, it's that there is some change we want to see happen in the world. When enough people decide to pursue a change in this world, it's called a movement. Another way to say it is that a movement is a group of people working together towards a common goal. So what's the movement we're part of here at church? It's the one that follows Jesus and wants to show others his love. Pretty major movement, huh? I think it's one that has the potential to change the world. Maybe you've heard of someone say that you can change the world. Yes, you. If you haven't, let me be the first to tell you that I believe it's true. All of you watching this can be world changers. We may hear that and get super pumped up. It's exciting for us to think about being a part of a movement that could change something in this world. I mean, like, sign us up, right? Or maybe we hear that and don't think much of it. After all, it's sort of one of those things people say a lot. I mean, think about it. YouTube ads promote it. Our parents say it as we head out the door. Our teachers have displayed it all over the classroom. Even though it sounds cool, it doesn't seem that real to us. And maybe if we're honest, we admit that it kind of feels like too big of a responsibility. The world is a huge place and we're just one person. What can we do to actually make a change in this world? We don't even know where to start. And even if we did, we're honestly a little too scared to try. If that's how you feel, let me just tell you that I can totally relate. Back in 8th grade, I loved to sing. Like, I would sing while doing chores, while doing homework. I would sing all around the house, but I never sang in public. Like, I even sang in the shower. Like, have you sung in the shower? Everybody sounds good in the shower, but I never sung in public. And one day, my mom signed me up for our youth choir. I was angry. I was so mad that she signed me up to sing in front of people. I even went to my dad and I told my dad, Dad, please, I do not want to do this. And my dad would just stand all elegant and say, stop playing video games. You must sing. I had no choice. So as I was singing in this youth choir, we had a tour coming up. And I looked on the list of all the different spots and I thought to myself, maybe if I just stand in the back and lip sing and just pretend, I won't be noticed. So I read the list of all the different parts of this play and I saw that I was the very first solo. I wasn't gonna sing with everybody, I was singing by myself. And I saw that the place that we would be singing at wasn't the church, wasn't a school, but it was at a prison. I was terrified, I was intimidated. I did not know what to do. So why am I telling you about this story? It's because I want you to know that you're not alone in feeling scared. The whole idea of doing something to change the world is scary. It feels like this big, impossible thing that we just wouldn't be capable of doing. Because you think you don't know how to do it, or you're not sure where to start, or you think you've made too many mistakes to help anybody else, or you think that you're the only ones that care, or you don't know how to keep going once you've began, or you're just afraid of failing. But what if I told you that all this change the world stuff really is possible for you? In fact, it's something that can happen in big and small ways when we join a movement to follow Jesus. Because changing the world is something he did thousands of years ago, and it's something he gives his followers a chance to do too. So how do I know this? It's because of something Jesus said during his final moments on earth. Jesus challenged his disciples, the closest people to him while he was on earth. These people did everything with Jesus. They witnessed him doing some of the most unbelievable and life-changing things, from healing the sick to calming the sea to even rising from the dead. You'd think they believed that with Jesus, they could do anything. Well, remember, like us, they were human. And part of being human is experiencing the very real fear that you might not be able to do the big, crazy, almost impossible thing you're asked to do. So I have to imagine that when Jesus asked his disciples to literally go out and change the world, they were a little nervous. Could they really do it? Well, let's look at what Jesus said. Jesus came and told his disciples, "I've been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I've given you. And be sure of this, I'm with you always, even to the end of the age." This sounds like a pretty big order, right? Basically, Jesus asked his followers to go out and do something huge, like to spread the movement to others, to go literally everywhere and teach people about him. I don't know about you, but that sounds impossible to me. It feels like too big of a movement to jump into and actually make an impact. I imagine the disciples might have felt the same way. At this time, they weren't even safe in their own country. Like, leaders in their nation were out to arrest and even kill them simply because they followed Jesus. So the idea of going into other unknown parts of the world and spreading the movement of Jesus, well, that had to have seemed crazy. And I'm sure it would have been scary, but still, Jesus called them to do it. He gave them a big vision for the impact they could have in bigger places. Did he know that sometimes they'd be scared? You bet. Did Jesus know that it would be really difficult sometimes? Even more than you would ever know. But Jesus also knew that with him, the disciples could do it. His belief in them helped them believe too, both in themselves and in the movement. Think of it this way. Have you ever seen a relay race where a baton gets passed from athlete to athlete? The baton is used to tell the next person that it's their turn to go. In a way, Jesus was handing his disciples a baton. It was like he was saying, okay, now it's your turn. Now you can go and make an impact in your world. And the same can be true for us. It's your turn. Jesus is passing the baton to each of us. He's calling us to go, to serve, to speak up, to share his good news, to love other people, to be part of his movement to change the world. And he's also telling us that sometimes that means doing things we're afraid of. In other words, Jesus is saying, do something you're scared to do. So all those amazing changes we want to see in the world, we can be a part of making them happen. But in order to do that, we can't let fear hold us back. Just think about the disciples. Were they scared? Probably, but we know they did it anyways. They took small steps that made big changes in the world. They kept the movement of Jesus growing and going so that we can still be a part of it today. So you're probably asking, how were they able to do it? Well, let's look back at the last thing Jesus said. Be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Jesus promised to be with the disciples always, not just sometimes, not just when it's easy, not just when they needed him, but always. And it's the same promise he makes with you and me. As followers of Jesus, his very spirit lives inside us. He goes with us wherever we go, like he's closer than close. When we join the movement and step out to do something that scares us, we can do it because we know we aren't doing it alone. Just imagine what could happen if we decide to simply start. If we decided to take the baton Jesus had given us and run with it. If we did the thing that we're scared to do. If we didn't let our fears and our anxieties stop us. The cool thing is that the movement is already happening. This isn't new. And that means all we have to do is join in. And if we do, the possibilities to impact and help others are endless. So do something you're scared to do. And here's how you can start. First, name what you're scared to do. And I'm not talking about this year's best haunted house or a roller coaster at your local theme park. I'm talking about the thing you might be afraid to do that has the potential to change the world around you for the better. Maybe for you, that's actually like signing up for the next mission trip, or loving the person in your family that's hard to love. Or it looks like donating your allowance to a cause that's important to you. Or it's choosing to say something when someone is being hurt or bullied. Or learning about an organization or a person already working to serve others in big ways. Or even serving in a ministry in your church every single week. Whatever it is, name it. Next, ask God for the courage to do it. Ask God to help you do something you think you can't do for someone else, to make an impact you're not sure you can make, to actually do the thing you're scared to do. Pray that He'll give you the words, the thoughts, the actions, the courage to make it happen. Ask God to help you take the first step to join the movement. Finally, make that step. Do the next thing that moves you in the right direction. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming when you look at the whole movement. So instead, think of it just in the next step. All these big movements were started in small steps, and yours can too. Take one tiny step by signing up to serve each week, or texting that person who's hard to love, or ask to get together with an adult and talk, or speaking up in small group, or even researching that organization. Maybe it's as simple as telling someone, like your group leader, what step you want to take. They're there to help you, support you, love you, cheer you on as you take these steps to do something you're scared to do. And remember, you're not doing this alone. God promised the disciples that He'd be with them, always. And He promised the same thing for you. His very Spirit lives inside of you, and He will never leave you, and He will always help you. If He calls you to do something you're scared to do, He will go with you when you do. So back when my mom signed me up for that solo in front of the inmates in the jail, I was extremely intimidated and scared, but I knew that God was going to be with me through every step of the way. I mean, I was fearful, I was intimidated. I was standing in front of guards, inmates, everybody that was in the jail singing the first solo, but I knew that God wasn't gonna let me do it alone. And the same thing can happen with all of us. I believe the same thing can be true for you. You can step out and join the movement, to do something you're scared to do, and to see what amazing things happen when you do. And the good news, you have people in your group to make sure you don't take that step alone. Your group is a great place to talk about how you can take a step to do something you're scared to do, and encourage each other along the way.
Boom. And we're back. We are back. So we jumped in, we were talking about it. They went through Matthew 28, 18 and 20, and talking about how Jesus gave all of the disciples the authority to do the things that He's called us to do. They reiterated our bottom line, and it is do something you're scared of. So we're going to jump into a couple of questions, and then I'm going to share a couple of announcements, and then we are done. I mean, so here is question number one, kind of a fun question, a dreamer question, if we're to say that. Here it goes. And I hope that you guys are paying attention so that you guys can answer it in the chat, because I mean, I noticed y'all hella super active in the chat, and that's not a bad thing, but it's a bad thing when you don't answer the questions that we ask. So here we go. Question number one, if you could change anything about the world, what would you change and why? Okay, if you could change anything about the world, what would you change and why? I'll go first, and hopefully I give you guys some time. I wish that like stomachs were bottomless, okay? Like if stomachs were bottomless, that means I could literally eat every single thing I want to eat. But I always feel limited because I'm like, I gotta save room for this. I gotta save room for vegetables. I gotta save room for like healthy stuff. And I can't just eat all the junk I want and, you know, just be okay. Daniel, probably sickness. This we got philosophical really quick. Okay. So, civil rights, and Daniel said, O'Shea, more pressing matters like COVID. Like, yeah, of course. I was trying to keep it a little lighthearted, but I mean, I guess not. Shoot, this is kind of awkward. I changed it so that if one person got too fat, that the fatness would transfer to a really skinny person. Okay, so I'm hearing body equality. Aaron said guns. Yeah, those are awesome, good ones. I mean, you know, you can call me out. I still feel like a bottomless stomach is still the way to go, man. I still feel like it's the way to go. It's the way to go. Think about, or check this out. I wish there was like, here, I'll go philosophical on the other end. I wish there was like this food where if you ate it, you'd be full for the whole day. All your nutritions, boom, in this one little snack sized like strawberry. I still feel like Angelique, come on, the bottomless stomach, that's a good answer, man. That's a good answer. Think about it. You can now have ramen, sushi, like Korean barbecue, like boom, 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 all in one sitting and not be bloated, not be anything. But we're gonna jump on to our second question. Question number 2. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much power do you think middle schoolers have to change something? Okay. See, Warren's with me. Yes. This is what I'm talking about. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how much power do you think middle schoolers have to change something? Okay. How much power do you think middle schoolers have to change something on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, Tamara, you have to choose a number. You can't just say the scale. That's not how this works. Angelique said 5. Thank you. I'm going to assume your 5 means that there's certain things that you can change and there's certain things that you can't change. Okay? Like a course or like a war. 6. It is to me. No, but you can't choose the scale. If it's 1 to 10, that literally means it's probably a 5. Like that would be the median of that, because like that's just Tamara, never change. Jai said 7, Aaron said 6, Malachi said 5, Benny said 6, 6-ish. 5 out of 10. Benny said nothing. Well, how'd you do that? That was clever. War 8 out of 10, but I did. Tamara. 6, 5. Yeah, so I'd probably put you guys at about a 6 or a 7, okay? I probably put you guys and girls at about a 6 or a 7. I feel like there's a lot of change that you guys can do because you guys have a lot of power. You may not realize it, but like you guys have a lot of power to change stuff. And I believe in you guys and girls, and I know that you can do it. 5, 5. Oh yeah, easily. We got you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sick. Okay, here is our last question. And you're going to think about it because we're going to ask you on Wednesday. So I'm giving you some time so that you guys can earn the games that we play, you know, on the Wednesday, so that our small groups on Wednesday are talkative, if you know what I'm saying. If you were there last week or the week before, you know what I'm saying. You know. But here's the question. Write it down, record it. this goes on YouTube anyways, so like you can rewatch it. Giving you guys ideas right now. But here is the last question that I want you guys and girls to think about, and we're going to talk and discuss on Wednesday about. It is, what's one reason doing something to serve others might be scary or uncomfortable? Okay? What is one thing why serving others may be scary or uncomfortable to do? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to take the conversation a little bit further on how to get us involved in serving and doing exactly what the bottom line says of doing something we're scared or uncomfortable to do. Because this is what Jesus calls us to do. He calls us to be a little uncomfortable in what we do and being able to reach people and being able to be awesome. So that is the challenge for this week. I've given you 3 days to think about it. So you should come up with 3 days of conversation, not 1, not 2, but 3 days. Okay. So that is that. Now on to our announcements. Friends, I hate to do this, but you know how we meet at 12 o'clock on Sundays? You know how we do that? You know how we do that? We meet 12 o'clock on Sundays. We're literally doing it now. Well, we're not doing that anymore. It's actually going to move back to its original time at 10:30. So next week, starting next week, 10:30, we are going to be meeting at 10:30. One more time. We're going to be meeting at 10:30. 10:30, 10:30, 10:30. If you forget, we're going to send out an email. We're going to let you know. Also going to remind you on Wednesday, because I know your memories are amazing, but we are going back to our original time because, you have to wake up earlier. Smile. But there's that. And then there is, like I told all you wonderful people behind the screen, July 28th, we're having a junior high boys and girls get together, separate, but get together in person up in Markham. We're going to be playing some games, water balloon fights, even McDonald's free food. We're going to be playing soccer, football, spike ball, whatever you want. And it's going to be separate. The girls are going to go hang out and do girl things. They're not going to have as much fun as us, though. But the guys, we're going to have the most fun because we're going to throw water balloons at each other, kick soccer balls, catch footballs, and spike balls. Boom! So look out for the registration link for that. It will be sent to your parents. So bug your parents about it. Get them signed up. Again, if they have any questions about the COVID-19 protocols that we're going to be doing, tell them to shoot us an email, shoot us a DM, and we would love to answer their questions to ease maybe their minds a little bit and just let them know that, hey, we're out here to create a safe and fun environment for you awesome people. So that is the announcements. Let's pray, and then you guys are free to maneuver around the day and do what you like. But bow your heads, close your eyes, no talking in the chat. I'm watching. All right, dear God, I just thank you so much, Lord. I thank you. Just as you challenged the disciples, Lord, in the early days, Lord, just to be uncomfortable and go out and help and serve other people, Lord, that we too would feel that calling that is on our lives, Lord, and actually act on that calling, Lord, and be a little uncomfortable, Lord, not worrying about what people may think about us by doing good or what how they may judge us, Father, Lord. But Lord, even give us opportunities, Lord, to be uncomfortable, Lord. Give us opportunities to be a little scared so that we can step out and fulfill what you've called us to do, Father. So, Lord, I just thank you for that. And I know, Lord, that each and every single person watching, Lord, myself included, Lord, that once given those opportunities, Lord, that we'll step out and make the right choices, Lord, to be able to help and serve others, Father. So we thank you for that. I pray, Lord, that all the students have a great week, and I will see them on Wednesday with their small group question answered, because they're amazing. In your name, amen, amen, and amen. Well, friends, I hope that you guys get bottomless stomachs so that you can eat all the food that you like. in the words of Jimmy Neutron, I think he says, I got a blast. I think he says, I got a blast. I think so. So, got a blast. See you guys, and girls. I'll see all of you wonderful people on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays.